On October 10, 1984, in California, there is a fire in a hardware store. The store was completely destroyed and 4 people were killed. After the fire was extinguished, the fire department believed that this was caused by electrical fire. However, the fire captain John Reynolds insisted that the cause was arson. In 1987, there are several fires broke out with the trace of man-made arson in South Pasadena. The arsonist lit some wicks on the hills away from the fire site to attract the attention of firefighters before the real fire broke out. In 1989, there were several arson incidents in Los Angeles. In March 1991, the Los Angeles Fire Task Force was established. One of the investigators mentioned that a fingerprint was found at the fire scene. The fingerprint found on a piece of paper where it is used to wrap the cigarette delay device. The reason why John Reynolds is suspected of being an arsonist because he published a novel called Points of Origin. The protagonist is a fire captain who secretly set fire in Southern California. The details are too similar to the real case in 1984 as mentioned above. The police secretly compared Oz fingerprints and found that it was his and secretly installed an electronic tracker in his car to monitor his locations. According to the tracking, Oz drove to a residential housing area in the middle of the night and returned after a while, and there was a fire after a few days. On December 4, 1991, the investigation teams decided to arrest John Oz. In 1998, he was sentenced to life imprisonment without parole. As for his motive for committing the crime, it is generally speculated that it was to satisfy vanity or to reflect his importance value. On March 15, 2000, Orr is currently serving his life sentence at California State Prisons. During his arson spree, Orr was nicknamed the Pyro by arson investigators due to the locations of the fires inside the shops. Fingerprints recovered from one of the crime scenes was compared to several arson investigated in 1989. However, it is failed. By 1991, fingerprint technology had advanced to the stage where a positive match was confirmed, making the Pyro the most prolific arsonist in American criminal history.
Bruce George Peter Lee, also named as Peter George Dinsley, conducted 11 arson cases within years 1973 and 1979. Lee set his first fire on 24 of June 1973 at Hull, England. The cause at that time was thought to have been a fault gas meter. On 4 December 1979, Lee set fire at Sherby Street, Hull, England. Charles' mother and one of his brothers managed to survive from the fire, while Charles and 2 of his brothers were killed in the fire. Presence of paraffin on the floor of the front porch noticed by the fire officer after extinguished the blaze. Police was called in. Lee was one of many teenagers who volunteered to be questioned routinely about the fire. 6 months after the inquiry began, Lee confessed in great detail about pouring paraffin through the letterbox and setting it on fire as a revenge mission against Charles Hasty, with whom he has been in a homosexual relationship. Lee said Charles had threatened to go to police unless he gave him money. Lee claimed that he was devoted to fire. The fire was his master. Lee using paraffin as accelerant. He would break the window of targeted house and squirt the liquid over the floor, set it ablaze, and then run out. Some of his fires were motivated by revenge. On 20 January 1981, Lee pleaded not guilty at Leeds Crown Court to 26 counts of murder, but guilty to 26 counts of manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility, and to 11 counts of arson.
Raymond Lee Oller was 36 years old, team-victim mechanic in Calif. He trained for 3 months to become a volunteer firefighter, but quit. He began starting small fire, but minor blazes were not enough. He became obsessed with lighting a mountain on fire. He started more and more fire by attaching a Marlboro cigarette to pack of matches, lightening the cigarette. In October 2006, investigators say Adler placed his trademark incendiary device in cable zone. The center anal beams fed the fire and it spread with flame into the air. A wave of fire rolled over 5 firefighters as they tried to save a house from the blaze. All 5 died. February 27, the trial of Raymond Lee Adler ended, describing Raymond Adler as a murderer who set a killer wildfire for his own amusement and to satisfy a lust for power. He used a combination of matches and a cigarette to light a fire in the remote area of Cabazon early that morning. Wind drove the flame into the San Jacinto Mountains, where they reached the speed of 40 and temperature of 1500 degree. In 5th of the June, year 29, Raymond Lee Adler was sentenced to death for starting the fire. Adler convicted of 5 counts of first-degree murder, 20 counts of arson, and 17 counts of using an incendiary device.